Let's get right into it. Number 10. The gut feeling scam. You know that thing people always say? Just trust your gut. Yeah, terrible advice. Your gut is about as trustworthy as a used car salesman who's also your ex. That squirmy little instinct that says, don't go in there, or you just know they're lying. It's not magic. It's your nervous system having an emotional seizure based on bad pattern recognition and half-remembered trauma from 2008. Your gut isn't predicting the future. It's remembering the past. Specifically, it's remembering every similar situation that felt dangerous or awkward and replaying it at full volume. So if you got ghosted by someone wearing a blue hoodie once, congratulations. Your gut will now panic anytime you see a blue hoodie in public. Scientifically, this gut feeling is just the interoceptive system, your body's way of translating internal sensations into emotions. Basically, your stomach tightens, your heart races, and your brain goes, oh no, danger. Even if the only real danger is texting first. Here's the twist. Emotions travel faster than reason. They hit before your conscious brain has time to fact-check them. So by the time logic catches up, you're already convinced your coworker hates you because they used a period instead of an emoji. Your gut's not psychic. It's just loud. Number 9. Emotional echo chambers. You think your feelings are unique little snowflakes, handcrafted by your authentic self? Nope. They're crowdsourced reactions your brain picked up from other people. You're basically an emotional sponge with Wi-Fi. Studies show that emotions spread through social groups like colds. Someone frowns near you, your mirror neurons light up, and suddenly you're depressed over a problem that isn't yours. It's called emotional contagion, and your brain loves it because it saves effort. Why bother analyzing a situation when you can just copy the nearest mood? The wild part is that your brain doesn't even ask for consent. It just assumes the group knows better. So if your friends panic, you panic. If they laugh, you laugh. If they're convinced everyone secretly hates them, guess who starts scrolling through texts for hidden insults? It's like your emotions are running on autopilot using someone else's playlist. And yes, sometimes that playlist includes existential dread on loop. So when you say, I just feel like something's wrong, you might actually be feeling someone else's wrong. You're emotionally catfishing yourself. Number 8. Memories drama filter. Your emotions love to rewrite history like a bad screenwriter. Ever remember a breakup as tragic and poetic, when it was actually two people arguing over Netflix passwords? That's your limbic system's fault. Emotions color memory, literally. When you recall an event, your brain reactivates the emotional state you were in at the time. Which means if you're sad today, every memory gets a sad filter. Suddenly, your whole life looks like an indie film scored by Phoebe Bridgers. Even worse, your emotional brain can edit memories to make them fit your current mood. Angry? You'll remember every injustice. Happy? You'll forget your car got towed last week. It's called mood-congruent recall, and it's why nostalgia exists. You're not remembering the past. You're remembering how it felt to remember the past. So next time your emotions tell you, you've always been a failure, remind them that your brain's basically photoshopping your own memories to match your current vibe. It's not wisdom, it's emotional fanfiction. Number 7. The stress illusion. Here's a fun fact. Your body doesn't actually know the difference between, I'm about to be eaten by a tiger, and my boss just sent a Slack message that says, can we talk? Both trigger the same stress response. Heart pounding, adrenaline surging, digestion shutting down. Your body thinks it's saving your life, but really, it's just ruining your posture. This ancient panic system, your sympathetic nervous system, was built for short bursts of action. Run, climb, punch, survive. But modern life turned it into a 24/7 background alarm. Your brain reads every inconvenience as an emergency because it's still stuck in caveman mode. And here's the kicker. Once stress hormones like cortisol flood your system, your emotions go haywire. You feel anxious, irritable, hopeless, and your brain starts inventing reasons to justify those feelings. I feel bad, therefore my life must be bad. No, your body's just marinating in stress juice. So the next time you're spiraling, remember, It's not that everything's falling apart. It's just your adrenal glands cosplaying as drama queens. Number 6. Emotional gaslighting by you ***. You ever get mad at yourself for feeling bad? That's emotional gaslighting, and congratulations, you're the abuser and the victim. Starts like this. You feel anxious or angry or jealous, and instead of asking why, you scold yourself. You shouldn't feel this way. You're being dramatic. Other people have it worse. Basically, you're doing emotional gymnastics to invalidate your own biology. Here's the cruel irony. Emotions aren't logical, but your brain hates that. So it tries to fix feelings with logic, which is like trying to stop a house fire with a TED Talk. When reasoning fails, you end up distrusting your own instincts, creating a feedback loop of confusion, guilt, and overthinking. In psychology, this is sometimes tied to meta-emotion, meaning how you feel about your feelings. You're sad, then you feel ashamed for being sad, then angry for being ashamed. It's emotional inception, and your poor brain's just in there, spinning atop and screaming. The truth is, emotions are signals, not instructions. They're like weird pop-up ads from your subconscious saying, hey, something might need attention. Ignoring them doesn't delete the problem, it just makes the ad flash louder next time. So stop gaslighting your own brain. It's doing its best with what little Wi-Fi it has. Number 5. The Happiness Hoax. You've been lied to by motivational posters. Choose happiness, they say, as if joy is a setting you can toggle in your brain next to airplane mode. But the science of emotion says otherwise. You don't choose happiness, you chase it like a raccoon chasing shiny trash. Here's the twist. Constantly trying to be happy actually makes you less happy. It's called the paradox of hedonism. When you turn happiness into a goal, your brain measures every moment against it, and most moments lose. Your emotional system wasn't built for constant positivity. It evolved for survival, not satisfaction. Negative emotions, fear, disgust, anger, exist because they work. They warn you, motivate you, and keep you alive long enough to experience the occasional dopamine party. But now we treat sadness like a software bug instead of a survival feature. We scroll past our own feelings like, nope, not today, while pumping our brains full of fake joy from TikTok dopamine hits. Then we wonder why real happiness feels so fragile. So no, you can't choose happiness. You can only make peace with the emotional chaos and stop pretending every day should feel like a self-care commercial. Number 4. Feelings don't fact-check. Let's say your friend doesn't reply for 3 hours. Instantly, your emotions hold a trial. They hate me. I said something wrong. I'm annoying. No evidence, no cross-examination, just vibes. That's your amygdala hijacking your logic before your prefrontal cortex even wakes up. Emotions react first, thoughts chase after. It's an evolutionary design flaw. Your brain evolved to prioritize speed over accuracy. Better to panic over nothing than ignore a real threat, right? But in modern life, this system backfires constantly. Your brain treats unanswered texts like predator eyes in the dark. It fills in blanks with the worst possible stories because it hates uncertainty. Even worse, when you believe those emotional conclusions, your brain starts collecting fake evidence to support them, a process called confirmation bias. Suddenly, every little thing your friend does fits the "they secretly hate me" narrative, and boom, you've built an entire conspiracy theory out of one unread message. So next time you feel certain about something, ask yourself, do I know this? Or did my anxiety write it in crayon? Number 3. The Empathy Mirage. You know that moment when someone tells you a sad story and you instantly feel their pain? That's empathy, or at least it's supposed to be. But your emotions have a nasty habit of confusing empathy with projection. When you feel for someone, your brain doesn't actually simulate their experience. It simulates your version of their experience. You fill in their emotions using your own memories, your own fears, your own drama. So you're not really walking in their shoes, you're just wearing your own shoes in their house. That's why empathy sometimes backfires. You might get frustrated when someone doesn't react how you would, or you assume they're hurting the same way you would hurt. Your emotions trick you into thinking you understand, but really, you've just painted your own feelings over their situation like a bad Instagram filter. Real empathy, what psychologists call perspective taking, requires stepping outside your emotional echo chamber. The slower, quieter, less flashy. But your emotional brain hates that. It wants instant connection even if it's wrong. So yeah, emotions make us human. But they also make us hilariously bad mind readers. Number 2. The nostalgia trap. Nostalgia, the emotional equivalent of rose-tinted glasses duct-taped to your face. You know that warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you think about simpler times? The ones where everything felt easier, people were nicer, and gas was cheaper? Yeah, your emotions are lying through their teeth. Nostalgia isn't an accurate memory. It's emotional editing. Your brain takes old experiences, deletes the bad parts, adds some cozy lighting, and calls it the good old days. It's like your hippocampus hired a PR team. Psychologically, nostalgia works because of something called the reminiscence bump. You remember your youth more vividly because those years were emotionally charged. But emotional charge doesn't equal accuracy. You remember the feeling of being alive, not the details of being broke, sweaty, and anxious about acne. Even worse, nostalgia gets stronger when you're stressed or dissatisfied with your present. It's your brain's way of escaping discomfort by hitting the previous season button on life. Basically, it's a coping mechanism wrapped in a lie. So when you think, things were better back then, your emotions are running propaganda. It's not memory, it's marketing. Number 1. The emotional GPS glitch. Here's the ultimate plot twist. Emotions aren't designed to tell you the truth. They're designed to get you to act. Every feeling, fear, joy, anger, guilt, is just an evolutionary nudge. Move away from danger. Go toward reward. Fix this before you die alone. They're motivational signals, not moral verdicts. But because we're meaning-hungry creatures, we treat those signals like divine revelation. You feel anxious? Must mean something's wrong. You feel angry? Must mean someone else is wrong. You feel confident? You must be right. Nope. Emotions are just biochemical GPS directions, and sometimes the GPS says, turn left, straight into a river. Here's what psychologists call the effect as information theory. Your brain interprets emotions as information about reality. So if you feel good, you assume things are good. If you feel bad, you assume they're bad. But those feelings are often based on context, sleep, caffeine, weather, hunger, not truth. In other words, your emotional compass points wherever your blood sugar and childhood trauma tell it to. And that's the grand irony. The thing we trust most to guide us, our emotions, is also the most easily hijacked by stress, memory, hormones, and TikTok. So if you ever catch yourself thinking, I just know this feeling means something, maybe pause and check the map, because sometimes your emotions are just a drunk GPS yelling, recalculating, while your logic's trying to drive. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.